Doctor Who Smith and Jones, the first episode of Series 3, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Because of the success of Doctor Who Series 1, they announced Series 3 16th of June 2005, 2 months after the announcement of Series 2. This is also the first episode without pre-credits since Rose, the first episode of Series 1. So this is another series opener and introducing a new companion, Martha Jones, played by Freema Agyeman. She works at hospital as a nurse, but she's not a doctor yet, and later, after her travels with the doctor, she works for the unit. I would love to see Freema return as Martha on screen. She did say she had great time filming the series. When they gave Freema the parts, they covered that up by telling her that she's doing a show called Torchwood before the series aired. But then she later found out when she sees David Tennant, and she had no time to be nervous. So this episode begins with Martha phoning her family and how they're arranging her brother Leo's 21st birthday party. Leo has a girlfriend and a daughter, and he's played by Reggie Yates. Martha has a sister called Tish, played by Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Her mother Francine and Clive Jones, played by Adjoa Ando and Trevor Laird. Them two had appeared in the show before. Adjoa played one of the cat people in New Earth, and Trevor played Thrax in Mind Warp. So basically Francine and Clive are divorced, but Clive has a girlfriend called Analyse who kind of reminds me of Neris. Francine understandably didn't want Analyse to be at Leo's party, otherwise it would make family look ridiculous. And yeah, she bought 75p bar of soap for Leo. So anyway, back to the story. I liked the scene where the doctor in future came up to Martha and took his tie off and said, "Like so, see?" That was pretty good entrance. But yeah, the next time you see the doctor, he was just in bed in hospital, not knowing what Martha was going on about when she mentioned him taking his tie off. When Martha asked the doctor, has he got a brother? And the doctor replied, not anymore, so he might actually have a brother, or not. A lot of nurses get electric shock. Martha gets it by a locker, Mr. Stoker by a clipboard, Oliver Morgenstern by a door handle, and Julia Swales, Martha's friend, gets it by a lift. I like the doctor goes on about Benjamin Franklin when he said he got soaked and electrocuted, and Mr. Stoker was like, moving on, thinking the doctor is unwell. So while Martha goes on the phone to her sister Tish, we discovered a stormy clouds above the hospital, and it was only raining there. It seemed freaky when the rain was going up instead of going down. And yet the entire hospital gets transported to the moon full of, well, scared staff and patients. And there is great acting there. We have an alien called Plasmavore who goes by the name Florence Finnegan, who uses a straw and drinks people's blood like a vampire in order to assimilating herself to human. And yeah, she drank Mr. Stoker's blood and left him bone dry. Plus the hospital isn't airtight, so the air should have got sucked out, but it didn't because of the force field. I like how Martha explains to the doctor the balcony about the events of Slitheen, Sigarax and Cybermen invasion. She also explains that Adiola, who is played by Freema Agyeman in Army of Ghosts, that was her cousin. The scene where Jadoon's spaceship lands and marches into the hospital, that is a cool scene. The music for that scene is brilliant. Don't know what we do without Murray Gold. I like the Jadoon, they're pretty badass, plus a Rhino police sounds pretty interesting. And yeah, it was them who isolated the hospital because they had no jurisdiction on Earth. And all they're doing is looking for someone who looks human but is an alien. Oliver Morgenstern is clever enough to follow the Jadoon to let everyone know they're safe. But until the guy smashed a vase into a Jadoon, and as a result, he's charged for assaulting an officer, declaring him guilty and sentenced him to execution. So Jadoon Captain shot that guy with energy weapons that completely incinerate him. The 10th Doctor seems to love a little shop. And yeah, he told Martha that he's an alien, but not the one that the Jadoon are after. The slabs, the motorbike-looking men, are slave race, and I love the running scene where the slab chases after the Doctor and Martha around the hospital. And that music, it's such a blast to watch. After when the Doctor killed a slab, dead, he expels the radiation he absorbed it onto his shoe and he takes them both off, and with a nice line, bare feet on the moon. And his sonic screwdriver is sadly damaged. They needed to show plasma to the Judoon, otherwise they'd sentence hospital for execution for harbouring a fugitive. So the Doctor kissed Martha for non-human DNA traces for the Judoon. So the Doctor finds Florence tampering with an MRI device. I loved how the Doctor pretends to be amazed human. The banter is hilarious. So her plan is destroy the entire life in hospital and escape in one of Judoon's ship. So the Doctor sacrificed himself for Judoon to find her. And yeah, Florence is guilty of the murder of the child princess of Padrefall Regency 9. And she's proud when she orders Slab to stop them. I had no idea how one motorbike man is going to take on 7 Judoons. So yeah, the Judoon executed Slab and Florence. So they left while Martha is resuscitating the Doctor, knowing he has 2 hearts. So the Doctor unplugs the machine and carried Martha after she passed out. Thankfully, Judoon transported the hospital back where it was. And yeah, everyone is okay. I bet they've had enough with hospital after that. At night during Leo's party, we have the Jones family and Analyse arguing and fighting because she thinks Martha's claim of being on the moon is just hallucinating. So yes, she walks off and tells Clive that she'll never speak to her family again. Meanwhile, Martha goes to the Doctor at the alleyway. She finds out the Doctor is a Time Lord and introduces her to the TARDIS, and it's bigger on the inside and can travel through time and space. When the Doctor mentions Rose to Martha and saying she's not replacing her, I can understand how hard that hit him when he lost her. When I first watched it, I was only 8 and I find the show not the same without Rose. But now I'm aware this is what the show is about, people come and go. So after Martha flirts with the Doctor and tells him that she goes for humans, the TARDIS violently moves and shakes about. And yes, we get welcome aboard line. It's a nice way to introduce to a new companion the TARDIS. I really enjoyed that episode. What do you think of Smith and Jones? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.